Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep with your host, Joel Elonin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I've been the penny. I will buy the stock for penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to Pre-Market Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, and Dennis Dick. Let me know how I sound today. I was having some mic issues earlier, so I hope I sound okay. We got a jobs number. That's what we got today. Do we care? Probably for now. At least like in the moment we care. At 8:30 we care. Does it matter for the markets one way or the other? That's maybe up for debate. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some earnings. We'll talk about DIDI. We'll talk about Fubo, Netflix. Those are all on our radar this morning. Anne-Marie Baiynd. Yes, Anne-Marie Baiynd will join us today at 8:35. We love her. She's from thetradingbook.com. So a lot to get to on today's show. Smash the like button. Hit subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your friends' neighbors. Your friends' neighbors' cousins. Tell everyone. We're good to go today. Joel, let's see those charts. How are we doing this morning?
Oh, we're doing good. We're up 6 1/4 handles at 41.50. Snuck below the close, not by much at 45.34 pre-market low. Pre-market high right there, just above Thursday's all-time high. That was 44. We hit a high of 45.75. Crude over $70, up 23 cents at 70.23. Gold knocking on the door of a breakout here. I'm calling 18.26, 18.27 a breakout. Silver back over 24. That's up a quarter at 24.17. Bitcoin up $1,000 at 50,385. Ethereum up $181, 3,984.75. Can you say 4,000? Yeah, you can. It did trade up to 4,015 yesterday. Triple D, it's Friday, 4-day weekend for me.
4-day? Why 4-day?
Tuesday's the Jewish holidays.
So you're not in on Tuesday?
No.
Spencer said he's going to be in.
He's not. Spencer's gone all week. What do you have a calendar?
Spencer's gone again?
Yes.
It's me and you, Money Mitch.
Stop. Wait, what do you mean again?
You just went. You went to
he's
a
on
wedding for a
vacation
week.
more
You
than
went
he's
to Chicago. Yeah. What do you got? A week on, a week off, a month off, a month
got
on?
the
What do you
better
got?
I haven't
deal
been to
here.
Chicago in like 2 years. All right, first of all. I took a couple days in May. You know, in May.
You did a
June.
big trip with Ariel. That was like a 2-week trip.
That was like 2 years ago. No. Joel just took a week off to go up north. Dennis took a week off to go camping and get sick while he was at it. I'm taking a week off to go to the Jersey Shore. So,
you live the lifestyle, man.
Well, you know, I can do that when
Living the dream. Living the dream.
You know what I want to talk about before we get to our regularly scheduled stuff?
Sure.
What about the government loaning ExxonMobil 1.5 billion barrels? Did you see that yesterday? Like, Here you go. Oh, you're having a little trouble with production? Here you go. I mean, what's up with that, Dennis? You ever heard that happening before?
I don't know anything about that. That's above my pay grade to worry about what the government does anymore.
It was just a very interesting press conference because on the one hand, he was talking about climate change, and on the other hand, he was like, "Oh, strategic oil reserves, we're going to use them." So, like,
and then,
I don't know. That doesn't make sense. But
I guess that's what gave oil the boost, huh? I mean, shortage of supply. But jobs number.
Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be good for the market no matter what, right?
You would think so. So here are the number. Here are the estimates. The estimates for today, or I guess for the month of August, is for the U.S. to have gained 720,000 jobs during the month. That compares to a 940,000 job gain in June and July. I'm sorry, unemployment. No, that number is not right. But the 940 was the previous number. Unemployment forecasted to be 5.2%. That's down a smidge from 5.4% in July. So, 720,000, 5.2%. Those are our bogeys. That's what we'll be watching for at 8:30. And to Joel's point, the market will probably go up either way. So,
it's usually how it works.
Yeah, that's why I asked today, does the jobs number matter? Because I'm
not even sure if I'm going to go wide on the jobs number because maybe just leave my bids out there because if it dips, it'll just go right back, it seems like anyways. So buy the dip.
Probably. Yeah, that's probably what happened, right?
Just pull your offers and just leave your bids out there, low bids, because you know what? If it dips down on it, it'll just find a reason to reclimb anyways, probably 80% of the time. It's probably the best edge. It's still the best edge out there. Buy the dip.
Yeah.
So,
right. Should we talk about other things? Talk about Netflix or earnings or Sava or Fubo. Where should we start?
Fubo upsets me, so I don't even want to talk about that one.
All right, we can talk about. All right.
The trade I screwed up more than anything. I was in it and I sold it.
Let's stay away from the Fubo. Let's start with Netflix here. Okay. I was watching this yesterday, mostly off the open. I kind of lost track of it as the day went on. But if you haven't looked at Netflix recently, you should take a look at Netflix because for a long time we complained, we got to take this thing out of the FANG. This doesn't belong with Apple and Facebook and Amazon and Google and Microsoft because it's not going anywhere. But now it's going somewhere. So if you're waiting all this time, you're being rewarded.
It eventually goes just because it is part of the FANG. It eventually goes just because it is a huge part of the queues. It's like Tesla too. You look at Tesla and you look at the correlation it now has with the major queues. I mean, Tesla is such a big portion of the queues now. It's got a lot of ETF effects in there, and they've locked it in. So Tesla goes down, you've got the ETF arbitrage happening on it. I mean, when you're a small portion of it, it doesn't affect it as much. But when you're as large as you are as Tesla, it does. And Netflix is the same benefits, being a large portion of the queues, being a large portion of the S&P. There's market effects that these stocks eventually just come back. There's some good stuff. You watch that Cobra Kai show? Have you watched Cobra Kai? Any of you?
No.
Come on. Did you like Karate Kid when you were a kid?
Yeah, I did.
It's good. If you liked the Karate Kid movie, Cobra Kai is like focused more on Johnny, and it's like where they are today. So after, they kind of leave off and they show you what happened at the end of the Karate Kid, and then we focus on Daniel's son over the next couple of movies. Well, they go back to Johnny and they kind of tell his story, which is amazing in itself. And Daniel's in there, and they bring everybody back. But It's actually, the acting may be a little bit more to be desired, but it's interesting just because I was such a huge Karate Kid fan. But that's a Netflix original. They come up with some good stuff, man. It's not going away.
So there were two big headlines on the Netflix content front this week. One of them is that they're getting the Seinfeld catalog. I think in October is when it comes on. The whole Seinfeld catalog. The other is they just signed a deal with the PGA Tour to do a documentary style series for golf, like they've done for Formula One. And I've seen some numbers, and I'm part of this trend. Formula One fanhood has increased dramatically in the U.S. in the last couple of years because they have this Drive to Survive series on Netflix. It's made Formula One more popular in the U.S. It might do the same thing for golf. So maybe this is a Eli trend, or an Eli trade to look at, because if Netflix can do for golf what it did for Formula One, it helped. I'm telling you, Formula One is bigger in the U.S. than it's ever been before, by every objective measure. So by the ratings, by the social media, by all of it. So maybe there's a golf trade here in relation to Netflix. But Joel, do you have thoughts on the Netflix chart at all?
I mean, I pulled it up yesterday, and wowzer. I mean, it's not gonna. It's
Blast off
I mean,
mode.
it didn't make a new all-time high. 693.29, 598.68, improved on that by a large margin. Not sure about the all-time high close, 88.55. I'm sure that was the all-time closing high from yesterday. I mean, make a big prediction here. Maybe we see 600 today or over the next couple days. That's probably
The next stopping point. You would think. I mean, we got up there near yesterday. First time, whenever you get a stock and it's getting to a big psychological level and it's run and and you're already at the range, it's a natural stopping point for it to get up there. It's one thing you start the day like 598, then you think, oh yeah, we're taking on 600. But when you start the day at even yesterday, we went out the day before, we went out at like 582.
Too hard.
We get this 18 points up. Does it have enough gusto to get it really yesterday? No. So natural, if you're a day trader, natural selling point just under that 600 bogey. Today, you get a little more running start out. You're $10. Can you get it today? It all depends on what the jobs number is going to say. I mean, if the jobs number is decent, or if we take off on it, for whatever reason, maybe it's not decent, we still take off. Like we were saying, heads market wins, tails market wins with this jobs number probably. But if you get the S&Ps blasting off, then Netflix obviously can take out the 600. But you just got to think about those daily ranges, which is something we don't talk a lot about on the show, but something I learned from you, Joel, is, you look at, and sometimes we're getting expanding daily ranges, but you look at what does the stock do?
Yep.
If you're looking at a stock and it typically moves $1 a day and you're buying it up $1 on the day and there's no news on it, you could be buying the high of the day or buying close to it, because those daily ranges come into play. Like, what can a stock do? When I don't know a company, and I know most companies, but if I'm not familiar with it, the main thing I want to look on the chart is I want to see what the stock can do. What has it done in the last, week, month, 90 days? Like, what is the potential here? So, and then you get news and you can get expanded ranges. But if you have no news, those daily ranges come into play.
Were you listening to pre-market prep with Stock Odds yesterday or something?
Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. Rob did an excellent chat on ATR. The average true range, and incorporating that. And then, if you extrapolate from that, odds, probabilities. I mean, is Netflix going to move $25 today? Well, we'll have those days where it moves, that much. But overall, that's what I use for targets, on the S&Ps. And if you're just going for the targets, you're going with the average true range, you're going to miss out on some of those expanded range days. But in the end, you're going to get the meat of most moves because that's what the market has shown you. So go to my PreMarketPrep.com channel, and that is published. That 10:30 show from yesterday is published if you want to get more on that. But we got to do some earnings. We got to get caught up before the jobs number, Dennis, because it's going to be boring. But anyways.
All right, let's start with DocuSign. That was
DocuSign.
the one that I was most interested in last night. The EPS beat, the sales beat, the Q3 sales guidance came in above estimates. The fiscal year sales guidance also came in above estimates. I was a little bit surprised, I got to say, because stay-at-home stuff. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, because this is the one that's held up pretty well compared to all the other stay-at-home stocks. But anyway, stay-at-home stock is having a good year, had a great quarter, and the reaction this morning is strong as well.
Yeah, it's held up well, and we've talked about this being the last one to report. The bar was set very low by Peloton and Zoom, so everybody's oh well, Peloton, Zoom, they're hammering that. They'll hammer DocuSign too. Like I said, they pairs that up, and sometimes it doesn't work that way. So lower bar, they get over the lower bar. Peloton, poor Peloton reporting first out of the pure stay-at-home plays. As a higher bar, and it gets hammered. So when your competitors are missing, you want to be last to report, and so they benefit from that. They also benefit this, though. DocuSign is like the way things are going. I mean, you are going to do real estate deals like this going forward. There's no going back to the old-fashioned way. DocuSign's taking over so many different things. It's so convenient. It's such a good system. Is valuation extreme? Yes, but it's still a loved company. The company's firing on all cylinders, and the stock is still loved. So it's hard to be bearish.
I'm going to throw out the high, throw out the low for pre-market trading. Let's look at the top of yesterday's range as support, 297.22. That'd be a little gap fill if you're looking to get it on the cheap. On the upside here, what DocuSign, what I'm looking for today is, can we get follow through? There's only 2 daily highs to contend with. One is 308.74, and the other is higher than that. I saw it at like 314. So those are the 2 numbers. But what I'm going to focus on too, and just because where we're trading right now, so let's see, 303.64. Was that the all-time closing high? Let me see where it closed on that day. Yeah, 303.64. If you're looking for the all-time high mark on that, you got that on Monday. So, intermediate number, better number for the day than it is for scalping a day trade. But let's see, 0364, 0874.
All right, 2 big winners this morning on the earnings front. MongoDB and PagerDuty both up in the teens this morning. We'll start.
Dennis will get this right away. Dennis, PD, what stock did that used to be?
PagerDuty. Oh, what was it before? Precision Drilling years ago.
Whoa!
No, that was PDI.
No, it was PD for a while too. They dropped it. Maybe
what was it before Precision Drilling?
Joel, you just got owned on your own.
No, he's wrong.
No, it was Precision. Maybe I'm thinking of the Canadian ticker. PD might have been.
Yeah, it is
in the US. I feel like it was PD for a while though. I don't remember, Joel.
Copper mining company.
This is dating. This is probably before 1999 when I started. Is it before 1999?
No, this traded at because it was pretty thin. It used to be pretty fun to trade.
What the heck? After 1999?
I think so. Yeah.
I think you're dating yourself. It's probably 1989. Joel's old. What is
Phelps Dodge.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was Phelps Dodge. I never liked that.
There, Spencer. You like
those commodity stocks. I never liked those.
They were wild. That was a wild one.
All right. Anyway,
I trade tech stocks. That was cool.
Yeah.
I still trade tech stocks.
Yeah. PD's earnings came in above estimates by 2 cents. Their sales came in above estimates by $2 million. They gave fiscal year sales guidance above the estimate by, we'll call it $5 million. And they gave EPS guidance for the entire year, more or less in line. So, mostly above estimates on the headline print for PD.
Nice lift, up 15%. Middle of nowhere, though. The all-time high is way up at 58. Now you got this here in the middle of that range because 44, the gap up. So I don't know. Can you get a gap and go? Maybe, but this is after day one. I'm not trading it at all. Curveball.
58.36 is not the all-time high, but that would be a really juicy target for today. The all-time high is 59.82.
That way back on the chart to 2019. I was too lazy to do
that. I don't know. This is just get followed through the pre-market high. Drill down on your dailies. Pre-market high 51.60. Look for follow through that. Do I think we're getting to 58 and change? No, but who knows? This is stock likes to move around a lot. Big run into it. Look at this. This was under $40 at the end of last week, and now you're over $50. So anybody that played it into the report, held it to the report, may want to take some profits. But PagerDuty. Someone asked us about this last night, right? Spencer?
I mean, I brought it up last night.
Oh, you brought it up
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know how many people still have pagers, but
And then the other big winner this morning, MDB, MongoDB, out last night. Earnings beat substantially. They reported a 24-cent loss versus a 39-cent loss estimate. Sales
$50?
of 198 versus 184
Full market, Joel.
dollars. Yeah, the guidance was strong as well. They beat the estimate on EPS and sales numbers for the year. So
New all-time highs. I'm assuming if I don't go back, I guess I should go back further, but I'm assuming it's new all-time highs.
But
I don't know. Blue skies. You're in blue sky
listen to
territory.
this. A new all-time high by almost $30 right now.
Yeah,
$30.
Safe to say it's probably going to print that all-time high today.
428.97. 460. Hey, if that's your target, it just got there, man. They took this thing up, and you know what? It's not giving in yet. I mean, it's actually holding up here. 459 is a pre-market high. If I was long it, I know what I'd be doing today. Maybe throw some offers at 460, see if you get lifted. Important to take out that pre-market high for MongoDB.
All right, let's move away from the earnings.
yeah, that was all that interests me. We have
not Alaska aired cutting guidance or Broadcom. No one cares.
We could maybe do Broadcom. That's probably the last one of interest.
Gave away the
didn't move
greatest.
much.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
Broadcom beat, and they talked up their M&A slush fund. They are ready and willing to go and buy somebody. Who? I don't know. But
Does make a ton of money. It's a value stock. Holy cow, it's got down to $150 in the COVID crisis. There was some good deals out there then, and obviously we continue to grind higher. The report was fine. You got all kinds of support down at 480. It is a cyclical business. That's one thing to consider when you're just chasing, because I know you look at it as a PE of 17 right now. Nice dividend, though, 2.9%. It's really a value stock.
Street leading the wrong way into the report as you've come down from the all-time high of 507.85 down to 490 yesterday. So getting half of that move back today. Maybe people are like, oh, I should have sold before the report. They would be selling at 499.24. That's your two-day high, and 500. That's just right back about halfway the move, and also your three-day high 501.29. So let's get to 500, get 500 bid, keep on going. I'm seeing that as a little bit resistance, as people might have got caught when this broke out and got to 507.85.
We got 8 minutes to the jobs number here. I am going to leave you for about 2 minutes before.
you said
I know I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm already having a tough morning. You ever do this one? This is the one issue. So I'm going to say I haven't done this in over a year. I had handleitis on the stock. Stock, but I was like, I bought the wrong handle in the pre-market. I thought I would get like dyslexia or something kicking in, but I have not done that in over a year. I was looking at it. I was like, oh, that's a good price. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's the wrong handle. And when you do that, what I mean is you're paying up actually in this case it was $2 more than what it was. So it's like, oh, it's just like ruins your day when you do that. So that's the one danger of trading pre-market and after hours. Liquidity is lower. Make sure the price is the price. So I'm kind of disappointed in myself. It was right before I came on the show and I'm bummed about it. I was like, you do it I do it once a year or so where you just like, you're quick, you're going quick and you're like, oh, I just bought the wrong price. I used to say, there was this algorithmic program, and I don't see it out there anymore, that would literally, if the stock closed at like 50, it would bid, or like if the stock closed like 50.53, it would bid 49.53 and offer short 51.53. So that you might just accidentally look at the 53 and you might buy it up a buck. I called them the handler, and they were trying to screw you, and they would move around with the price and they'd stay a handle up. Just an evil program trying to fool you into buying higher, selling low. I haven't seen that program running, but this was like a number of years ago, and I was like, that is just a dirty program.
That is.
But isn't that dirty? It used to actually even move around with the price. Like years ago, I used to see as the price was moving. When we were first, this was going back like 15 years ago, there was one that it was like 25.05 and the price moving down. They'd be 26.05 and 24.05, and they'd move it around, and it would literally move around with the price $1 out and keep the same digits that the last trade is. So if you accidentally bought it, and they would throw it on some ECN, like some it wouldn't be on like the main ones. It'd be on some other exchange. You're like, oh, there's a 55, and grab it. Like, that's the wrong handle. So dirty. So dirty.
The handler, the penny jumper. Who else was out there? The penny jumper, the handler.
The
Yeah,
penny jumper is still out there. The algorithmic penny jumper, and they're everywhere. Like it's on small caps where you got a wide stock like 25.50 to 26, and you go 25.52, it's 25.53. You go 25.54, it's 25.55. It's just always it's a penny above you. That program is still out there. It wants to be on the high bid, so if somebody comes to hit, they're going to get it from you. So I mean, they want obviously order priority is what they're trying to do, to be the first in line. So they always penny jump you. So there's a lot of programs out there that, more just not necessarily dirty, but not helpful. I'll say that.
Only
that
here.
handler one, though, that was a dirty program.
PreMarket Prep. We'll give you the lowdown, down and dirty on nicknames for traders in the pre-market.
Yeah, I mean, a rare mistake for Dennis. So if for those of you doubting that he's human,
yeah,
let today be your proof. He's human.
Yeah, and then I've had another buddy at Bright Trading, and he did it a few months ago. Like, I just hit the wrong hand. I was like, it happens. It sucks when it happens. We're making hundreds and hundreds of trades. And sometimes in some cases, some of our traders are making thousands of trades even a day. Look, the algorithms never make mistakes if you run an algorithmic trading, but they can, I guess, if the programming's wrong. But for the most part, they don't buy the wrong handle. But you're a human being, and you're trying to trade quick, and you're trying to grab the digis. And you're like, wrong handle. It's a horrible feeling, and it's a way to really ruin the day when you lose.
I did that once in American Airlines, and when we were at Bright, and it was during I don't know. I argued with them, and they're like, they want to bust it. It was
well, they don't bust it. They used to. They used to be able to call the floor for bust or adjust.
Yeah.
You used to be able to call the floor for bust or adjust, but now there's clear erroneous trading guidelines, and a block or two is not within. It's usually like 20% out. Like it's like a long ways out now. But it used to be the bust or adjust, and you call up, you'd be like, I just bought this, I want the trade busted. And then they offer you an adjustment. You got to kind of feel it, because if you say no, then they throw it to ruling, and ruling would rule on it. So you kind of got to know what, their guidelines at ruling. So you'd be like, do you, take the bust, or do you give them an adjustment? I've been on both sides of that before. So, on a news play, I had people trying to bust my trades on news. I was like, I'm not giving you a bust on that. That thing's got news. Just because you just bought it at the high doesn't mean, all of a sudden you get the out. And if there's news, they never busted them. So those trades are good. But you could call back in the day, you could call for a bust or adjust on everything. But now there's clearly erroneous guidelines. So it doesn't
back in the day.
Back in the day. Back in the days, Joel. Re-reminisce once again.
You mentioned handles and the handler. The reason he calls it handle light is because the S&Ps, I don't do it as much anymore. But like we're trading, in the 4,500 handle. I'd 4,400 or 4,600, but I just adjust it up 100 points every day, and then I know what I'm doing.
100-point handle.
All right, let's get something. We got 827.
A few people in chat asking what's up with Roku. I'm going to go ahead and assume this is the Amazon headline. So if you didn't see the Amazon news from yesterday, Amazon branded televisions could hit the market as soon as next month in the US. And I'm not talking about like a Fire Stick, I'm talking about like a physical Amazon TV that is connected, that basically does the same thing that's
not good point. Look at that thing.
That Samsung TV would do, a smart TV, basically an Amazon smart TV, which is what Samsung does. It's what LG does. It's what Roku does. So, Roku is built into the TVs, but this is basically a competitor to that. So
wow, step down seller, pre-market low 335. I'm looking at the monthlies. I don't know if we'll see 323.5 today, but that's the next support point.
Ugly candle yesterday too.
Yeah,
people caught on this. And then you get bad news on top of an ugly candle, so those people are caught.
Yeah,
370 yesterday. This thing was up to, and now you boom, and people are like, oh, I'm buying the dip. It always works in Roku. Those people are like, yeah. I don't know.
Worry,
you're right. 340. You're taking that out. And this is a tough play, too, like we've said for a long time. I mean, there's competition for this space, too. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of Roku whatsoever.
What about the Comcast?
Although Roku TV is cool.
How about the Comcast rumor?
What was that rumor? I saw the stock going. I was like, what?
It still went up 100 points up. Oh, the Comcast was going to buy them.
Yeah. No, but I meant Comcast in itself. What's going on with Comcast and Viacom the last couple of days? The stock's been blasting off. Well, maybe
Really?
not so much
Comcast
Viacom,
finally
but
moved.
Comcast.
Wow, it finally took out 60.
Yeah, it's going. Cable
Wow.
TV's back. Cable TV's cool again.
All right.
I
I
love
gotta go.
Comcast.
Well,
I
I
love
gotta go
Comcast.
trade.
40,
I'll
40
be back.
seconds. 40 seconds. So again,
I'm going to trade. I'm going on mute. I have to figure out how to mute.
All right.
I'm all frazzled
Hey,
from the hand.
check your handles.
I like the Discovery. I just took Discovery 2 days ago, so just adding to what Dennis is talking about. Looking for Discovery.
DISCA, is that finally waking up? Yeah, it
and
looks
not,
like it.
and not.
All
All
right. Jobs, and more jobs.
Just to recap.
August jobs report imminent. Pre-market high 45.75. Pre-market low 45.34. Just below the close. Traders are gearing up here. August jobs imminent. 43 is your last print. 42. Oh, they like it. Up, new high, new all-time high of 46, 47. Do I hear 48? Do I hear 50? Do I hear 50 in the house? Come on. Nope. Back down to 44. Right now, you just got a spike high at 49.50. Backed off 4 or 5 points. I doubt if that will hold up as high of the day. But hey, some action. We might not have Dennis for a few minutes.
I am a little bit. This is kind of weird. So
now we're backing off. Wait a second. We're backing off here.
Right. Okay, so can I let's pause and I can give you the numbers here. So remember the estimate was at 720,000. That was your estimate. 235,000 jobs added last month. 235.
We missed it by a half a mil.
235 versus a 750,000 estimate.
Whoa! Watch out, Ellie.
You can call that a miss. Unemployment, remember, expected to be at 5.2%. That was in line. Okay, so unemployment declined by 0.2 percentage points month over month. Nothing crazy there. There are some really weird things happening with this jobs number. Okay, so 235,000 non-farm jobs added last month versus a 750,000 estimate and a 943,000 number in July. Okay, so we just went from 943,000 jobs added to 235,000 jobs added.
Not good for the banks. Not good for the banks. This is not interest rates. Now they're not going to be raising them until 2029.
well,
we're on the lows. We're going on the lows of the pre-market session here, about to go unchanged. We just lost 13. We haven't lost 13 handles in that since the financial the things back in March.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. 35 and a quarter. That's your close from yesterday. That's your all-time closing high. We got near. Where did we get? Did we get there on that bracket? Let me see. Let me get the S&P chart back up here. Got the 35. Did get to 35 and a quarter on that on the 831 to 832 bracket. Now trying to bounce. Boy, oh boy. Let's see. Got to stay green. As long as we stay green, there's a hope. Once we go red, we're dead. Go ahead, Spencer.
Yeah, no, I mean, on top of this, the non-farm payroll number for July and June were both revised higher. So those numbers are actually even more disparate than the August. So something weird must have happened. There must be some sort of force weighing on this number here to be such a to see that the number so far off from what the street was expecting. Maybe if we can dig into this report a little bit today, we can find out. But there must be some weird thing happening here. And rest in peace to the banks, like Joel said, the XLF or the individual ones, whatever. Yeah, at this rate, we're never going to raise interest rates, so I don't even know.
Well, they're doing okay. You know what? Also, you have here the old, and it's just the timing of everything, but it really makes you think about sell Rosh Hashanah and buy Yom Kippur, or just sell Rosh Hashanah and not buy at all.
I'm trying to think of like what could have been behind this number. I'm wondering if it really is, and I don't actually know. I'm just hypothesizing here. I wonder if it really is just people just not working, just not getting jobs, because unemployment benefits are like set to end. A lot of them this weekend.
This weekend.
This weekend, which is ironic, right? Labor Day. So, I just wonder. I don't know. I'm just guessing if that's if people are just not and we've all seen for months now, the entire summer, we've all seen and heard and lived in some respects about staffing shortages in the service industry, in food, hotel, whatever. A lot of jobs on the low paying end of the spectrum, right? Having a hard time staffing right now. Walmart just raised their baseline pay to $15 an hour, joining like a bunch of other companies doing that as well.
Actually, Walmart's $16.50. They went that far.
Excuse me, $16.50.
Got you, bro.
So I really do wonder if it's a case of people just not getting it. I don't know, but that's a really, really, really big miss. Again, just to recap, Wall Street was expecting 750,000 jobs to be added last month, and only 235,000 were added. So,
this is good for gold. This is good for gold and Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't know. We'll bring in Anne-Marie and she can explain that one to me. Gold, nice bump up there, clearing the resistance to see if it holds. S&Ps, man, tried to go red there, didn't, caught a bid. We're almost exactly back where we were before the number came out. We went up 7, then we went down 7, and here you are, right back where we started from. So sell the rip, buy the dip, and right back in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to when you get numbers like this, it's hard to make the case unless
it's hard to make the case for higher rates.
Right. It's hard to make the case for like so-called here. I'll take the charts off. It's hard to make the case for like so-called like continued economic recovery, right? When you see like a miss this bad, but I guess we'll just have to wait. Like I do wonder what kind of adjustment we'll get next month.
What I'm trying to think of.
But gosh, that is a big. Someone in chat help me out. When is the last time we had a miss that bad? I'll have to go do some digging here because that was a really big miss. Yeah, I'm caught off guard. I thought this would be uneventful. I thought it would.
I mean, from the standpoint of the market being exactly where it was before the number, yeah. But nice range in between that. But gold, like I said, that spiked to 3260. Silver got a little spike. Bitcoin likes it. Ethereum stocks for the most part. The tech is holding up. I see JP Morgan in the red a little bit. What did the TLT do off this?
It went up and now it's down.
Yeah. Huh. I wonder who bought the TLT on that.
Well, that's why I was surprised, Joel, when you said, "Oh, we're spiking, we're spiking." I thought, what?
I don't know. Just the algos, I don't know what they saw in this. Maybe they saw that the unemployment rate was steady first, or they're just so conditioned to just buying this market under any kind of circumstance.
I got to hear some justification for this number here because on the surface it doesn't make a lot of sense. But I guess we'll see. We'll see what Powell says about this number. We'll see what the other Fed chairs or the Fed presidents say about this number, and we'll see how it gets adjusted next month. But to Joel's point and to my point at the top of the show, all things being equal, we're kind of back to where we were. So, I don't know. That's kind of my take on that.
We're leaking. There's pressure on this.
I mean, we're leaking a little bit, but
we're gonna go red. That's what I predict. Anyways, Anne-Marie lurking there because looks like Dennis is in. Trade cave there.
I retract that comment about being back to where we were because we are. I guess we are in like the NASDAQ.
They're worried. The market's going red, and we'll see. And we got a long way to go on the downside here, folks. We are going red.
Right, let me shoot Anne-Marie a note right now because she did confirm with me last night. Let me just shoot her a line.
Yeah, because this will be if she misses today, then she's going to be on.
No.
Extra secret double probation.
She emailed me twice last night.
We're red now. Down $1.25, down $1. New low from the pre-market low. They're looking for bids out there. Dennis, get your bids out there. The market needs some bids. New pre-market low by 0.5 point.
Hey, out of curiosity, look at Bitcoin. Yeah, spiked on that news.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Bitcoin spiked on that news. So,
I have a question. Do you guys think the gold trade still works, or do you think it's just more
I have
correlated
no
to
interest.
Bitcoin?
I-
I think Bitcoin, but I mean, you guys can talk about it.
I don't think. Okay, as far as gold, here's what I think. I think the gold is going to lose an entire generation of investors because no one under the age of like 40 owns gold. I think that's like I have no data to back that up. I'm just like that's just my crazy hypothesis. I think everyone who wants to hedge against inflation or the dollar or whatever, they buy Bitcoin. They don't buy gold. I think long-term gold. I think the gold trade is just dead. That's just my. That's what I think. So, yeah, I'm not.
I don't know. Gold is. I mean, I'm in it from a long time ago. GDX and the GLD, and every move I want to do in it seems to be wrong, and so I'll just hold on to it. See if it can hold today. I mean, it had that big washout. I mean, now we've cleared this 1825 area where there was some resistance. We haven't cleared it for good, but now 1850. That was the highs. It's been in the trading range. No, I agree with you, Sven. Now we're starting to get some serious red here. We're down 4 handles, 5 handles, 5.5 handles, 6 handles. So pressure on the market here. 20 handles off that pre-market high. Really not liking that jobs number at all. Now that the close, today's close, or that close from yesterday, even more significant at 35.25. That's your all-time closing high price. Been a pretty quiet range this week, but looks like that's going to change today.
Yeah. All right. Anne Marie will be on in a second. I've been assured by that. We'll get Dennis back when he gets back. Oh, there she is. See, look at that. I spoke it into existence. Anne Marie Baiynd from thetradingbook.com. Great Twitter follow at Anne Marie Trades. Anne Marie, good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Look at me. I'm a wreck. So I am here in North Carolina,
Okay.
taking care of my mom, and that's why I missed the note that said let's do 8:35.
Okay.
But I'm here and ready and looking forward to the day.
All right. I don't know if you had a second there to take a look at that jobs number.
I did.
Do you even care? Do you care?
I do.
Okay.
The question is, how will it make me move? And at the end of the day, that's where we go, well, maybe we shouldn't care, because there's so much going on the back number of that, even if he tapers, even if he says, hey, listen, we're going to taper, what we're looking at is everybody moving out of the bond market and having no place but private equity and the stock market to go. That's why we've got the relentless bid up. That's my thought anyway.
Okay, so jobs number notwithstanding, well, let's rewind it. Prior to this morning, where was your head at as far as markets? Are you one of these put buyers hedging against
No,
September correction?
I am not.
Okay.
And my thought is, because the big macro view is as intricate as it is right now, the rotation out of bonds with the bond market, what is it, 10 times the size of the stock market?
Something like that.
Something huge.
Something like that.
And the rotation is, every big macro guy you read, he's saying, listen, get into private equity, or that's what they're trying to do, right? They're getting them into these private equity spaces,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, the rest of us Joes that have our pensions and our 401ks and stuff like that, we're still buying the index. And so essentially, until liquidity breaks down, that is the big ticker that I look for. Take a look at LIBOR, take a look at what's happening in the repurchasing market.
When you say liquidity, you're talking about like overall market liquidity, right? Like banks. That's what you're talking
no,
about.
I'm talking about lending liquidity.
Right.
So when it closes, you were a much younger tyke back at the GFC.
Mhm.
And back in that day, if you remember, what happened was, in the overnight rates, banks stopped lending each other money.
Right.
That's what you want to watch for.
And wasn't
That's
that was
the
that
freezing
was,
up of liquidity.
that was also there was a fear of that last year, was there not, in March?
Yes, there was a little bit of
Yeah.
that. Yes, but it eased up. Fed came in, widened the repurchasing window, and provided the buffer to sit in between the banks. And so that sort of is now a whisper, but that repo area is still being very well expanded. And that really is the one thing that says, listen, credit makes the world go round. And if credit freezes up, it's the people in the know that are saying, I don't know if you can pay me back. And so that becomes the big thing.
Since you mentioned the repo market, I guess you're one of these people that every day looks at the overnight repo numbers and explain to the people that don't understand what the overnight repo market is and what these numbers mean. Explain it.
Okay.
That's a tough one, but go ahead, Amber.
So that's a little bit, I'm being kind to myself. That's a little bit outside of my wheelhouse.
Okay.
But the bottom line is, inside of the repurchasing market, it's sort of a lever that keeps credit going in the overnight. The complications and complexities of that, you know what? I'm a spoon in the drawer, not a sharp knife. And so the only things that I look for are words that say injections. What other kinds of words do they use that make you go, ooh, alert? So there's the injection, there's the higher rate that you might see comparatively. It's moved up maybe a quarter of a point, a half of a point, something like that, that makes you go, oh, it was a little bit tougher to lend money.
What about the tail? Don't they say something about the tail or something? Does that Rick Santelli mentions that?
Once it starts into the gobbledygook, So my thought is, I just want to know the bottom line. Are they lending to each other, and are they charging more to do that? And if that happens, we know that there's a problem, but we haven't seen that. And so everybody is buying puts, and those puts are expiring, worthless. Or they are sitting out there in the future, essentially waiting to be worthless. So we don't really know when that's going to be. My thought is, make hay while the sun shines, and always think to yourself, am I sitting in something liquid enough that if the wheels start getting a little rickety, can I start bailing? And so I'm about 35% in cash at this juncture. So that's a pretty big, can you tip me in Bitcoin? That's a pretty big cash allotment for me, because I am a wee bit nervous. But here's the thing. Every bid is going to get picked up on the lows. Every single one of them. Because at the end of the day, liquidity is not broken. When liquidity breaks, there's the problem.
So where is the hay being made right now?
It's just, everywhere? Can I tell you, it's the easy places.
Okay.
You buy the calendar spreads in Microsoft. You buy you sell puts well out of the money in Apple, right? It doesn't move to full aggressive on board out of the money calls. That's what a lot of Joe Normal is doing right now. They're seeing the bid up and they're saying, well, it's eventually going to get there. So I'm just going to do it and I'm going to wait. For the people who are, the gray hairs like myself that are going, wow, one of these days I'm just going to have to eat off of whatever it is that's sitting in there. And I'm recommending things and showing people what I do. I have to be a little cautionary because people always do more than you tell them to do. And so, or you suggest that they do. So from that perspective, the options market is still driving the stock market. It is the tail wagging the dog. Option flow continues to increase. Out of the money option calls continue to increase. And until we start seeing those numbers flatten out, just go where it's safe. Almost every single pension fund and almost every single ETF that says they're ESG or whatever, and they're trying to make edge, they've got Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, and Amazon sitting in their portfolios. So it's driving all the prices. Go inside of any ETF and you're going to see, whether it's X, Y, or Z, they're going to have a little bit of Facebook sitting in there. And so you just do the easy thing. You sell the out of the money put spread if you don't want unlimited risk there for the wheels to come off the bus. But think about how hard it is if everybody's buying the index every Friday. Everybody meaning here's your 401k general index buying. Very many financial advisors are saying, listen, do the easy thing. Buy the index. And so all of that happening, they're not going to dump it like that. So if you're in the big names that are carrying the market, you're going to get through with just a little bit of bumps. And if you're willing to risk more, then you look at the things that have enough cash flow, that have rising earnings numbers, and you start using a little bit of that fundamental analysis. But outside of that, if I didn't tell you I was walking like there were glass shards sitting all around me, then I would not be being truthful. I am being cautious because you don't know. But see, here's how you know. One, you lose a bid and things start failing, and then all of a sudden, guess what? The market gets a bid. When that stops, when we have 2 weeks down in a row.
2 weeks? How about 2 days?
Exactly.
Yeah.
When we have 2 weeks down in a row, then we go,
2 weeks.
Yeah, and that's just not, we just, listen, going on the short side is like strapping yourself to railroad tracks. Truly. You just can't right now. You can't. Unless you're looking at dogs in the market. And then yes, because it is a bifurcated market and you're going to see things that are going to get punished more quickly and more often, but it's not going to be the big guns. Because
when do you think we've had 2 weeks? When do you think the last time was we had 2 down weeks in the market?
Holy smokes. I don't even know.
Do you want to guess?
Yeah, March?
May for in the middle of May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 42.15 to 41.60. 1 week was the drop. Then we went to 41.42, and then boom.
Yeah,
it took off.
off
And
to
then
the races.
Yep. And then
But do you see how savagely they're buying these dips?
Yep.
They just don't want to miss out.
And then the one prior to that was February. And that's all we've had for the entire year. This is, I don't know if you have my chart up, Spencer, but showing the weekly chart here. Yeah, pretty amazing.
And Marie, tell people where they can find you and how they can support you and all that good stuff.
I'd love for you to follow me on Twitter or StockTwits at Anne Marie Trades. Because I'm down here with my mom, who's really not very well, I let my security socket layer expire, my SSL certificate.
Oh, I know how to fix those. Wink, wink.
So, we're working that out with the website. But the website is normally thetradingbook.com, and you should be able to see that next week.
Oh, boy.
I know.
Internet.
It'll be all good.
I hate computers.
Yeah, this morning I've had a pickle. That's for sure.
All right, Anne Marie Baiynd.
Wait, before you let her go, I want her to explain gold to me.
Okay.
Wow.
Gold. It's like my most hated. I'm doing okay in that most hated investment, but is it ever gonna? This is the top of the trading range here, 1840, 1850.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that
well?
as good as it gets?
For now,
Okay.
any kind of I think gold is going to be continually bid up, and I think the dollar is going to be continually bid up. And those are normally two things that are in diametric opposition to each other. But I believe that relationship is going to break because of the basket that makes up the dollar. We're the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry. And it's very cool to hate the United States right now. And so a lot of people have that cultural mindset and they go, okay, I'm shorting the dollar. But the fact is, we're still the most stable currency because the EU is the EU. Yeah. And so, we'll leave that right there. And so, they just started releasing these, gosh, what are they called? They're these things that they use instead of money. Golly, left my brain.
NFTs?
No. They are a certain kind of certificate. I know you're just kidding. Yeah, the NFTs. That's another thing. Anyways,
Another thing.
So
Anne-Marie, I would argue that's the thing right now, but what?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
All right, guys. Anne-Marie Baiynd. All right, at Anne-Marie Trades, the handle is up. I'll put it up again. There it is up on the screen. Thank you so much for joining us this week today.
Thanks for having me.
And
love you guys. You're the best. This is the best morning show.
Love you back, Anne-Marie. We'll have you on again soon. Have a good one.
Thank you. Take care. Right. Bye-bye.
We will say goodbye to Anne-Marie and hello to our old friend Dennis. Somebody get this man a Gatorade and a towel.
I wanted you to bring me on with Anne-Marie. I was sitting in the queue. I'm like, I always like talking to Anne-Marie, even though I was like,
Here.
I'm in disaster management.
She's back. She's back.
I know. I had to say hi to Anne-Marie. I've been sitting in the queue for 5 minutes. I'm like, bring me back on. I got to talk to Anne-Marie. She'll calm me down.
On his vacation.
I'm having such a tough morning. I hit the wrong handle on a stock, and I just got run over on a jobs number. I'm having such a tough morning here. I need the voice of reason to say to me it's going to be okay.
It is going to be okay because you have the wheel. Because you have the wheel.
The wheel feels like it's got a couple of holes in it this morning. I'll tell you that much. Anne-Marie, always a pleasure talking with you.
Guys.
So,
all right. Take care.
All right, Anne-Marie. We'll talk to you soon.
Sorry, Dennis.
Shoot for D. How'd you do
one
that,
of those,
pal?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I got run over a bit there too. You know why? This is like an unexpected move. The banks got hammered on the initial number. I was like, yeah, deserved. They turned around and they started hammering the TLT and they just started ripping the banks. And I'm like, that was not what I was thinking was going to happen on that. So the initial reaction I thought was correct. Don't fall for the initial reaction because you think like the banks are rallying on this now, Joel. The TLT is selling off on this. Don't you think like when you miss by a jobs number as much as this, that they're going to say, hey, Fed's going to say, hey, maybe rate, increases, maybe tapering. Maybe we're right. Maybe we should be holding off on some of this stuff. But the banks are saying no.
Well, they did say.
They did. The initial 2-3 minutes, the banks got hammered. And I was like, all right, I was short some banks. I'm like, yeah. And then they just turned around and started buying them. And they're green. And they're green more than the market. And they started hitting the Qs on it. So
they're going to come out.
TLT related. I mean, and let's look at the chart of the TLT right on the number. Because obviously we know when the TLT, we know the inverse correlation. When the TLT goes down, the banks go up. But initially, the TLT tried to come up a little bit there on the initial number, which you would think kind of makes sense. But this is the market that doesn't make any sense at all. So they're hammering the TLT on this. I did not see that coming.
It's a transitory number.
Is that what they're saying? It's
transitory. I don't even know what that means.
I don't know if it means anything.
That's because there's some kind of anomaly they're going to come out with. They say, well, this is why the number was so bad for August, and so it's really not that bad. At least that's what I'm looking at the TLT, I'm looking at the TLT, and that's what they're thinking. They're saying, bah humbug, it wasn't that bad of a report. We're still in an inflationary.
Sounded pretty bad from when I was listening to Spencer, and obviously all my news coming from the Pro and coming from Spencer Israel there. So it sounds like it's a pretty big mess.
Huge.
I would have thought on a big payroll miss like this, that the banks would probably
You roll over and stay
roll
rolling
over, and the TLT probably not rolling over $1.50. But we know what moves. All you need to know is you don't have to know any of the jobs. You don't have to know anything about the economic data. If you're trading banks, you're looking at that TLT, and the TLT goes down $1.50, the banks are going to start rising. So as soon as the TLT tried to catch a bid and started rolling over, that was the cue to turn around and cover your bank shorts. Because the banks, like, look at Bank of America. I was short Bank of America. I was short Bank of America going in, and here you go. You can see, boom, the spike all the way down to 48.70. I did get a little bit covered down at 80, but not enough. And then all of a sudden it's back to flat. I'm like, really? And then I'm looking TLT getting hit. I was like, oh, I got to cover this, So then you're eating a little bit of a loss there because the TLT goes down $1.50. Your bank's going to be higher. But wow, one, the big miss was a little bit unexpected. You can see the volatility in the markets, but two, the reaction of the big miss was unexpected as well. So interesting.
All right, we got a nice tip. We got a $25 tip.
What do we got? 20. I need the $25 today. I'm having a bad day.
It's a bad day.
Bad day.
I don't know about Vizio being the next Roku. I don't know anything about this stock, but what I do fundamentally, but technically, man, you got to get this 21 seller out of here. This guy's been here for the last 2 days, 2105, 2106. That's what I'm looking at. Just getting the 21 handle, and you're $1.50 away. That doesn't sound good. On the downside, I'll give you some pretty good support, and we'll see if we're doing that support today. Yeah, coming close. Better catch a bid here. You've had 3 lows in this area. The lowest of those lows is 1935. So for the $25 tip, you get support and resistance.
Just remember, this stock is, paired up with Roku sometimes, and Roku is getting hit here today. So this is a stock that could get hit here today just because Roku is getting hit. So keep that in mind. I know you can look at the 2 charts, and they are somewhat similar. Nothing is perfect within pair world, but there's definitely a relationship there. So with Roku getting hit today, that's why you're seeing VZIO trading down. I'd keep Roku on as your leader.
All right, Dennis, I'm going to hop off to premarketprep.com and
I didn't even get to talk much with all you guys.
No, that's okay.
I was too busy in damage management control after my bad call on the bank.
If you want to talk to me, you can talk to me right now. I'm going to stay on for a couple minutes.
Dennis, I'll be in touch with you before Wednesday. Yeah, I'll be around. I'm not going to the Michigan football game.
All you guys, why are you not going to Michigan?
No, wait, time out. Don't leave yet, Joel. We need your picks for Saturday for tomorrow for Michigan.
The picks, I hope they win by 1.
Okay, that's what I needed to know.
That's what I was up for. I would never lay the 17. At least at this point, I wouldn't. I think that's probably like a new trading system is fading the spread in Michigan. I could never do it. The first time I do it, they'll probably cover, but not giving the 17. And I hope Ohio State kills Georgia. I want them undefeated when we play them in the big house in November.
All right.
I'll go to that game. Okay, guys. Dennis, I'll be in touch with you before Wednesday.
All right. If you want to hang out with me, Dennis, you're free to
hang out for like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
more damage control here. We never look at imbalances anymore, and we might as well look at them. And the banks surprisingly still green, and obviously the TLT. So I'm not going to fight the TLT. That's the controller there. Square 28,000 share buy balance. We haven't talked Square in a little bit. Ugly candle yesterday. Some stocks started to try to roll over yesterday, despite the S&Ps looking fine. There was some internal weakness there in a few tech stocks. Taiwan Semiconductor, 103,000 shares to buy. It's trading up $1 here this morning. And when I'm looking at these imbalances, this is for the NYSE opening.
Yep.
And NASDAQ imbalances don't come out till 9:25. So we don't have that information yet, which is why I never talk about them on the show. So these are just New York imbalances, which come out at 8 o'clock Eastern. It's about it. You know what? It's just a chop fest here. This morning is a chop fest. A lot of, unpredictable moves. I'll say that. We rallied, sold off her, then we rallied. I mean, buy the dip kind of wins the day again because we were down over 10 handles from where we are, 25 minutes ago. So it seems like they can't shake the buy the dippers, and they're not shaking them there today either. We knew in this case, even though whatever the market was, we're kind of like heads the market wins, probably tails the market wins, because if you get a weak number, well, then tapering, might, not coming off the table, but may get delayed. And then also, looking at interest rate rises out to 2022, you get the soft number, and you start thinking, okay, well, the Fed's going to be accommodating more to this market. You got hot numbers like, economy's firing all cylinders. That's what we want to see. So I still think, kind of the heads the market wins, tails the market wins. So I'm not coming in here and just hammering stocks on this, but buy the dip wins again.
I don't know if I told you this,
At least for now.
but I bought a firm yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I talked about it. I asked y'all to talk me out of it. One person tried to, and he failed. Everyone else was like,
no, I like it.
Do it. So
I think it's a good buy. Obviously we don't know anything. Nobody knows anything.
No.
But I think it's you're setting up here. You got to get above the high from the Amazon day 101. That's the critical number. If you fail there and it starts to roll over, that's a concerning thing. So, I mean, 101 is the critical number. I would stop myself out under the 90. I would not want to see this trade under 90. Then you start thinking fill in the gap. But they got so much good stuff going on. This buy now, pay later movement, which, somebody was joking on Twitter. I laughed out loud. They're like, well, I'm going to start the company buy now, pay never. I was like, that's a good business model right there. Everybody would go to that company, but obviously just a joke. But I think you got to be above 90. You're above 90 here right now, so you're still, the bulls are in control. If you were to lose 90, that's probably my stop out on that trade.
I almost I almost got cute. It was like, no, I should probably wait till it breaks 100. But then I was like, no, let me just do it now. I don't have any stops yet. I will have to set one today before I leave, because I will not be checking all the time next week, and I am concerned about this gap, right? So I'll be setting a stop somewhere up in this area.
Yeah,
probably I don't know, 90. I don't know, somewhere in the low 90s. And then I'll set it and forget it and see what happens there. But
it sucks when you get stopped out on your trade, but it's the way to protect yourself, especially when you can't manage it. I don't like putting physical stops out there, but I'm usually managing the positions well enough that I'm paying attention, even though sometimes you miss them.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting at your desk, you can manage the risk a little bit better. And the name of the game, and I was doing a webinar last night. Jeremy Newsom was supposed to be on it, but actually, congratulations, Jeremy, father to a new baby boy here from yesterday. So he obviously couldn't be on with us, but it was a great webinar. We were talking just it was about a whole bunch of different things, broad aspects of wealth and life, and trading was a certain portion of it. And obviously, I was handling the trading portion of it. And I don't remember even where I was going on this tangent, but where we started, I took it from something. What were we talking about right before that?
A firm and watching the chart.
Yeah, and I was just saying,
controlling your risk and
controlling the risk is the whole thing. Like, somebody asked me a question. It was a great question. What separates a good trader from a trader who's starting? How you can tell if they're going to be successful or not? And it's 100% risk management. I mean, it's, what we see at Bright Trading, traders coming in and going out within the first day, you usually can peg like 80 or 90% of whether they're going to make it or not. And it's the traders that are just gamblers. They're just going in there. They get down a trade. They double down. They're averaging down. They, won't cut the loser. No, I'm not selling at a loss. Those kind of traders don't make it traders, because you got to be able to admit when you're wrong. You got to be able to cut those losers. If you're not willing to do that, you will get into a market that isn't going to be favorable. You're going to get into bear markets eventually. You're going to get into bear markets on individual stocks. You're going to get stuck with stocks, and then it's going to eat away not only your trading capital, but your mental capital as well. So the whole key to successful trading is discipline.
Yeah, and I should mention, it says it right here in the Pro, we do have a firm earnings on Thursday, so we have an event. So definitely
that's scary.
So yeah, always know that when the earnings are on tap for that. Okay, Dennis, it was fun hanging out with you. I will see you in a little over a week and change.
Sounds good.
Don't forget, you do have Monday off.
Oh, I get a day off?
You get Monday off.
That's amazing. I need the day off after today. This is one of those days.
With the rest of us, you get Monday off.
One of those days.
On Tuesday, guys, Tuesday will be a weird show because I'm out and Joel's out. So it'll be Dennis and Mitch for the whole show. And
Me and Money Mitch.
with Tim. You'll have Tim Quast on with you.
Oh,
so,
well, we like Tim now.
Yeah.
Tim will save the show.
Tim will save the show. All right, Dennis. Figure yourself.
I gotta figure out get myself out of trouble.
Get yourself out of trouble.
I usually try to manage it somehow.
All right. Have a good day. Guys, I know there was a few stocks that we didn't get to that were on my list, and I see them in the chat as well. I saw Sava mentioned. DIDI was on my list. We didn't get to that. Fubo was on my list. We didn't get to that. I'm going to save all of this for live trading, which is coming up next right here on our channel. So I'm going to end the stream in a couple of minutes. Live trading will probably start around 9:15 is when it usually starts. Myself, Mitch, Ryan, Zunaid will hang out, the four of us, until 10:30, and then I'll talk biotech stocks with Vivi at 10:30. So we'll save all the things that we didn't get to for live trading coming up right here on this channel. Thanks to all the super chats today. All the donations, we appreciate that as always. Let me check real fast how many likes we're at. We're at 319 likes. Can we get to 400? That would be great if we got to 400. Let today be a lesson, right? Whenever, and I'm mostly talking to myself here, right? You get too cute and you think, oh, like economic data, who cares? Who cares about this stuff? No one cares about the jobs number or ISM manufacturing index or whatever. Whenever you get too cute and you just totally disregard a number, it can do this to you. Big number. Now, that being said, we are on a beeline towards being unchanged right now in the S&P, in the NASDAQ to a little bit of a lesser extent. But and Russell to a lesser extent, but the S&Ps like here, let me just pull it up here. Let's just look at SPY. Okay. I'm gonna go to a 1 minute chart, right? So right there, the opening print on that 830 candle was 453.83. So we're down 30 cents, right? After all that, we're down 30 cents. So we are on a beeline towards being unchanged. I'm calling it now. We will end up, at some point today, we will end up unchanged, right? From this number, we'll probably close higher. That's kind of how this thing works. So, yeah, a volatile morning. This is what happens when you get a big beat or a big miss, right? Volatility. So a surprising number to be sure, but a welcome one. All right. All that be. Yeah, I mean, you're right. We basically are unchanged, Rando. You're basically right. How many likes we at? 414. Yes, you love to see it. You love to see it. Thank you guys. That is just a quick and easy way for you to support us and support our channel and what we're trying to do here for you every day. Okay, so all that being said, that this platform on the screen that's called Benzinga Pro, you get it for free for 2 weeks. Free for 2 weeks. Just go to pro.benzinga.com. You get a free 2-week trial. If you want a little bit more than that, you can use the code YouTube20. YouTube20. It'll get you 20% off any Benzinga Pro subscription. Thanks to our guest today, Anne-Marie Baiynd. Thanks to all of you in the chat. Let me think. Was there anything else I wanted to say? Nothing. I got most of it. Oh, this show is available as a podcast. I haven't said that for a while. So if you missed the live show, or if you're driving and you can't, watch and drive, you can listen and drive. We're on all the major podcast platforms, right? Spotify, iTunes, Google, Stitcher. So just search PreMarket Prep or Benzinga on any podcast platform. You will find our show there. Okay. That is going to be a wrap for me. Please remember, all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Michael Crockett, I agree with what you said. Stagflation is the word of the day. I could buy that. I could buy that. All right, I'm going to end this stream. We're going to start live trading. Myself, Ryan, Mitch, Zunaid in like 2 minutes. This is going to end. It'll redirect you to that. And I'll see you guys over there. Have a good rest of your day. And good luck out there.